Hi guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. For today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 6 books that I am going to be putting on my spring/summer TBR. As you guys will know, I'm very much a mood reader and I particularly enjoy when I finished a book, I just like to go to my shelves and have a look and see what takes my fancy, but I do kind of also like creating loose seasonal TBRs just of some particular books that I'm really looking forward to reading in the near future, and I'm just going to share those with you today. But before I go through my TBR, I did just want to quickly announce that I have created a bookish community over on Instagram using the hashtag #ThatReadingLife, and I'm hoping to kind of launch it properly at the end of April. So if in between now and the end of April you share any pictures of what you're reading or bookish merch or anything like that, please use the hashtag #ThatReadingLife, and then how it will work is every week I'll pick my 4 or 5 favourite images and I will share them on Instagram, and I'm hoping that it can just be a nice little community of people who love to read, and maybe we'll find some new Instagrammers and new books to read and just that kind of thing. And I have been meaning to announce it on here for absolutely ages, and I'm just actually I forgot to do it after I'd finished filming my TBR, so I'm coming back and I'm filming this, so if I've moved slightly that's the reason why. But yes, hashtag #ThatReadingLife, and I would love to see all of your wonderful bookish pictures over there. And now I will leave you to watch my TBR. So the first one on my list is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I don't think that this book really needs any explanation. I read Purple Hibiscus in October and really enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything that I've ever read before. The writing style was incredibly different and it was set in Nigeria, which is a country that I haven't read very much about, so I am really looking forward to picking this one up. As far as I know, this is about 2 Nigerian teenagers who fall in love and then their lives separate, and one goes to America and one ends up in the UK, and then years later they meet back up again in Nigeria, and it just kind of follows their story. As I said, I really loved Purple Hibiscus and I've heard lots of people really rate this book, so I'm excited to read it. Next up is The 7 Sisters by Lucinda Riley. Now this was a book that I recently hauled and I will link that video up above if you're interested, and I'd not seen anybody talk about it, and then since I hauled it I've seen like 4 or 5 people either Instagram a picture of it or talk about the fact that they're reading it and how much they really enjoy it, which is really weird, isn't it? But I didn't realise either that this is part of a series. So this book is kind of an overall view of these 7 sisters who were all adopted, and they kind of come back together on the death of their father, and it takes a look at some of their stories. But then the subsequent books that Lucinda Riley is writing or has written is going to look at each individual sister and their story, so it's quite a chunker. So I'm really intrigued on where it's going to go, how it's going to work with then the individual books, and I'm really hoping that I enjoy it because I've read something by Lucinda Riley before and I did enjoy that, so I have high hopes for this one. Then next is a book that I actually bought today. I went into town with Meg and we popped into Waterstones, which is always a bad idea, and Meg got a book, and because they were doing buy one get one half price, obviously I had to have a book as well, and this was a total and utter cover buy. I didn't know anything about the book until I got home, but I just couldn't resist. So here it is. It is Ink by Alice Broadway, and just look at that cover, it goes all the way around. Isn't that just gorgeous? So or literally all it says on the back is "the truth will get under your skin." So this is a YA fantasy book in which your life achievements or failures or just anything that happens in your life is tattooed onto your skin, and people who don't have the tattoos are known as blanks. And this is basically about a young girl who lives in this fantasy world, and on her father's death she kind of discovers some sort of mystery surrounding who her family are, and there's some kind of connection to the blanks as well. So the inside flap says, imagine a world where your every action, your every deed is marked on your skin for all to see, and Leora has something to hide. So I just think that that sounds like quite a unique concept, and I'm just completely in love with the cover. Even if the book is rubbish, I will still be in love with this cover. Then next is a book which again needs no introduction, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is an adult fantasy book which is kind of about a magical world and a magical school, and I believe we're following the story of one guy who we meet at the beginning of the story working in a bar or owning a bar or an inn. He's an innkeeper or something like that, but he's some kind of huge magical figure in this world. And I actually started listening to this on audiobook, and it was so intricate and so in depth that I literally couldn't do anything but concentrate on what I was listening to. And I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm doing household chores, so washing the dishes or folding clothes and all that kind of stuff, but I couldn't concentrate on any of those things because I was just completely swept up into this story. So I decided that I was going to buy the physical copy and try and read it. And I'm actually planning on taking this away with us in June when we go to Italy. I wanted a fantasy book that was a decent size that I could get completely swept up in and completely lost in, and I have very high hopes that this will fit the bill. So we'll see. Then we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is a post-apocalyptic book in which the vast majority of the population of the world was wiped out by some kind of flu-like disease, and then I think this picks up the story of the survivors some years later with flashbacks to when the disease was kind of going through the world. I have seen lots and lots of people talk about this and really praise it, but I have tried as much as possible to avoid any spoilers, so I don't really know too much about it, but it looks super fast, it looks super quick, and it sounds really interesting. And then the final book on my list is Fire Damage by Kate Medina. This is another recent purchase, but don't tell my husband. This is about a psychologist called Dr. Jessie Flynn who works for the army dealing with soldiers who I think suffer with PTSD or something like that. But she comes across a 4-year-old boy whose father has been injured, and she has to try and help this little boy deal with something, but she's kind of dealing with some kind of haunted past of her own that she must face up to. And then a burnt body washes up on the coast, and somehow all these different things are all sort of connected into one thing. Now, as I understand it, this is the first book in a series about Dr. Jessie Flynn, so I'm really excited. I have not seen or heard anybody talk about this, and I think that it sounds really interesting, if a little creepy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what I think, and if you have read this, then do let me know. So there you go, they are the books that I am hoping to read over the next couple of months. Do let me know if you have read any of them and what you thought. Also let me know if you've made a TBR video or if you've written a TBR, just share it with me in the comments down below. I would love to know what you're reading. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all soon.